Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me for this 15-minute talk regarding our personal financial coaching. This is only an introduction and it's a broad overview of how the coaching works and how the benefits or how it's going to benefit you. If you want the full presentation of all the details, you're welcome to contact the person who sent you this video or contact our office at info@iretirehappy.co.za and we will gladly send you the full presentation. So without further ado, let's get going. The first thing we need to understand is that money is a game. It's like any other sport. It's something that you are playing the rest of your life. So if you want to win at this game, you first and foremost need to understand the rules of the game. Secondly, you have to have a strategy. And thirdly, you have to practice the implementation of your strategy. Now, unfortunately, we come from an education system that for years have taught us how to become good employees and earn an income, but it hasn't taught us what to do with the money once we've earned it. So what typically happens is we reach age 40, we're battered, we're bruised, our expenses are higher than our incomes, and we have all of this unnecessary or unsecured debt. Then people look at us and say, but you've made some stupid decisions. Well, you didn't know any better, so how could you make better decisions? So if you want to excel at any sport, you need to find yourself a coach to teach you. Why is it so important to have a coach? The first one is a coach is someone with knowledge and experience that you might not have. And if you first have to build up that experience, build up that knowledge, it could take you years to get to that level where you immediately have access to that coach knowledge and experience. It's also somebody who can listen to you and give advice. It's somebody who can be objective. So it's sometimes very difficult with finances because the people close to us are emotionally involved. So it's difficult to have proper, honest conversations with someone. So you have a coach that is non-judgmental and objective that can show you the right path. It's someone who can keep you motivated and focused. Because this journey is not a 60-minute journey or a day journey or a month journey. It is a journey for the rest of your life. It's a game that you're going to play for the rest of your life. And also the coach will keep you accountable. They will make sure that you make the right decisions by keeping you accountable. So if you want to win at this game of money, you need to get yourself a wealth strategist to coach you. So why do we call our coaches wealth strategists? Well, their sole focus is to help you create and implement personalized strategies to create wealth for you and your family. So although it is a broad system that we plug you into, the system is personalized for your specific situation. Our coaching consists of 4 levels, and each of these levels has a goal, it has a development area, as well as an outcome to achieve. So let's get going and quickly look at the 4 different levels. The first level of coaching will be student level. The goal for student level is to move your zero back to zero. So I'm going to quickly explain to you how that works. So what typically happens with us is when we start working, if we have zero money in the bank, we have zero money in the bank. So then what happens is we earn money and then we spend money. And we earn money and we spend money all around our zero. So by the end of the month, if we have zero money, we don't have any money to do anything. After a couple of years or a couple of months, the bank comes and says, you're quite a good client. We're going to give you a credit card with 10,000 Rand credit. And you are very excited because now you have some financial security, but you're not going to use that until or if it's not an emergency. And then what typically happens is 3 months down the line, you have used that whole 10,000 credit. And then what happens is we then earn money and we spend money and earn money and spend money all around minus 10,000 Rand. So do you see how it's the same, how similar it is? You still earn and spend. All that's happened is your zero was moved from 0 to minus 10,000. And then they convince us that this 10,000 Rand on your credit card is giving you security. And it's not. So what we want to do is we want to slowly move this zero back to 0. Okay, so the next step, or what we're going to do and how we're going to get there, is we're going to first focus on doing a proper budget to take complete control over your cash flow. So we're going to do what we call a strategic expense planning exercise, and then we're going to implement our bucket system. The bucket system will help you take control of your cash flow. We will also help you make provision for any unforeseen events that might happen by minimizing your risk. A risk specialist will sit, they'll do a full risk assessment with you and make sure that it doesn't matter what happens, you and your family will be able to continue in the same manner as you were used to. We create a practical debt settlement strategy to then get rid of all your unsecured debt. So what we do is we first and foremost create a positive cash flow by looking at where money is being lost. We've done some research, and the average middle to upper middle class family in South Africa overspends by about 10% of their budget. What that means is that if your budget is 40,000 Rand a month, there is 4,000 Rand a month in that budget that you can't account for. That's gone, it falls through the cracks. So through that strategic expense planning exercise, we're going to fill those cracks so that that money doesn't get lost anymore. We then allocate that money to your unsecured debt, and we create that debt settlement strategy to get rid of your unsecured debt within 12 to 18 months. The development area we focus on here is what we call increasing your financial intelligence. So what we're going to do here is we're going to focus on making sure that you understand the tools, the tips, the tricks, the shortcuts of making the most out of the money that you have and understanding the financial instruments that you're going to use. The outcome is to create financial stability. So financial stability is knowing exactly where your money is coming from, where it's going, and how much you have left at the end of the month. Once we've moved your zero back to zero, we then move you to undergraduate level. The goal for undergraduate level is to reach maximum reserve level. So what is maximum reserve level? The first thing is we set up your reserve account, which is typically a savings account that is linked to your banking profile where you get some interest. The goal is not to get the most amount of interest, it's just so that you have money that is parked, that is available in the event that there's an emergency, and planned capital expenditure for the next 12 months. So as part of this process, we're going to sit, or your wealth strategist will sit with you, and they will plan your year in advance and look at all the capital expenditure that you're going to need to spend money on. For example, birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, Christmas, a car that needs to be serviced. You need to put tires on your car. All of those things will be planned in advance, and in your reserve account we will make provision for that, which means you move from being reactive to being creative. And that is where we want to have you, because what typically happens is one of these unforeseen events happen, and then we have to go into our credit card, take out a personal loan to make provision for this. So what we do is all the positive cash flow that you now have from your budgeting system, that includes the positive cash flow that we've created, and secondly, the money that you were paying into debt, all of that money now gets moved into your reserve account every month until you reach your maximum reserve level. What that does is it helps you become your own bank. It creates your own security. The development area we focus on is to increase your entrepreneurial intelligence. So here we're going to start focusing on how do you become an entrepreneur? How do you create business assets? And then the third one is the outcome is to create financial security. The next level we go to is what we call your graduate level. The graduate level's goal is to reach investment level. So what's going to happen here is you're going to be taught how to become an active investor. Again, the industry has taught us how to be passive investors. So you go, you sign a debit order form, the financial institution of your choice comes, they take money out of your account, and you hope that they do something with that money. So what we want to do is we want to make you an active investor where you use these instruments on your own terms, not the financial institution's terms, for your own goals, so that you are in charge of your own investment and your own financial future. So we help you set up a Freebucks account, and a Freebucks account is basically a flexible investment account that we set up where your money flows into. It gives you some access to the market, but it is still accessible. The wealth strategist will help you choose which assets you want to invest in, and how much capital you need to make your first investment. So they will sit with you and they will go through, and by doing investment intelligence, they will sit with you and determine what it is that you are comfortable investing in and how much money you need to invest. You also at this level want to become an entrepreneur, so we will help you set up your first business asset to create your first, what we call, freedom income. Freedom income is money that can go directly in your reserve account because you don't need it to fund your lifestyle. The development area we focus on here is to increase your investment intelligence, and the outcome is to create financial gain. Once we've done that, we move you to investor level. And the focus or the goal for investor level is to reach your breakout point. So what is your breakout point? Your breakout point is when you get to a point where your lifestyle or your active income is equal to your passive income that's coming from your assets. So once you get there, once your assets creates income per month that is equal to the income that you get from your salary, you are free. You then have the choice whether you still want to receive your salary or not. So what we do here is we invest your capital into an income generating asset, and that income generating asset creates another freedom income stream. And now we start creating what we call a generational wealth spiral. So let me quickly show you what a generational wealth spiral looks like. So what we do is we start you off by creating a freedom income. That freedom income gets put into your Freebucks account, which creates a capital asset. The capital asset then gets invested into an income generating asset. So an asset that generates an income as a result of the asset, not what you do in the asset. The income generating asset creates more freedom income. The freedom income gets put into your Freebucks account, which creates another capital asset. The capital asset gets put into an income generating asset, which creates more income. And so we could keep building that spiral bigger and bigger, and it grows faster and faster as we go along. And that is what we call a generational wealth spiral. So why do we call it a generational wealth spiral? Well, typically what happens is if you use capital assets alone for retirement, usually your money starts running out before you pass away. So your children don't inherit that much. With a generational wealth spiral, the assets that we use to generate the income will stay there even long after you are gone. It will go to the next generation. Your children will be able to take those assets and build on top of them. Okay. The development area for investor level is to increase your emotional intelligence. And here we're going to start making you think like a wealthy person. And the outcome is to create financial abundance. The goal is to get to investor level as quickly as possible and stay there as long as possible, because you will be an investor for the rest of your life. So for as little as 499 Rand a month, you can get your own personal wealth strategist that will help you achieve financial retirement in 10 years. Yes, 10 years, not 40 years. The typical retirement plan is a 40-year plan that we've been taught. Go to school, get a good education, work at a company with a good pension fund, stay on that pension fund, save as much as you can by living within your means, and hopefully you've saved up enough money at age 65 to retire. The problem is that plan has a 96% failure rate, because 96% of people who follow that plan cannot maintain their standard of living 5 years after retirement. So what we've done is we've created a system where you are coached to reach financial retirement in 10 years. So what is financial retirement? Financial retirement is where you have the freedom to work because you want to work, not because you have to work anymore. So get in touch with the person who sent you this link, or contact us at info@iretirehappy.co.za so we can send you the full presentation explaining exactly how this process works. Remember, a wise man once said, 1,000-mile journey starts with a single step. So don't wait. Take that first step now and get the presentation. I really look forward to hearing from you and joining you on this exciting journey.